Okay, hi guys, it's WooGs here. I'm doing a video. I'm not sure why, but this is the T2 Rathma. Season 12. It's still very bugged, but I kind of was doing some runs on my throw barb. I just kind of made today, just a Purg build, so just purely DPS build. There's not much defenses on here at all. I forgot to frenzy before going in. You could actually go to like Bloody Foothills or something, get your frenzy stacks up, and then click the portal. You do that for declone and stuff, so you have a full bar. You see, I'm now having to get my frenzy up, which is not really ideal, but it's not a big deal. You just kind of go through that. Um, so throw has always been pretty good for Rathma. Honestly, the best part about throw is how good it does phase 3. Phase 1 and 2 is usually the hardest with mana problems, to be honest, because it's mostly single target, and that's where it struggles the most. It doesn't bounce off the spires anymore and all that, so in declone and such, or it does, but not here. So that's kind of a big deal, but the bosses right now are kind of bugged still. They have very low health in phase 1 and 2, and then phase 3, all the knights and stuff have no health, as you'll kind of see. So I'll kind of walk through a little bit about the fight this season and kind of what I'm doing. As I said, I have very little resist and such. This is like a pure DPS build. What we're doing here is casting our Grimward, getting our Frenzy stack up, and then just standing on top of him and spamming our double throw. Honestly, you can kind of just wait until these golems get to the center, like I'm doing here, and then when you throw it, it should bounce off all of them. But you see how fast these guys die this season. I have a lot of damage, but there's also just kind of no um, health in this fight at all. The boss here has a lot less health than normal, but still a little bit of health. In this part, he's supposed to be fully immune, but he's not. This is annoying. I got hit by a bunch of these FHR things, which is whatever. That's the poison nova you have to antidote. So you want to antidote that. I'm just getting my Grimward up again, and then we're just going to kind of bring down these golems here. It's not too interesting, to be honest, as part of the fight. I'm sure most people just gotta skip over this part of the fight. But really the spires are the only thing that really do damage. That and the Sludge Nova is all you gotta watch out for. I have 79 cold res, so I do have to be a bit careful of the spire. One spire will probably do like 70% of my life. So I gotta be pretty careful about that. You can't damage men down in this phase. He definitely is immune when the golems are out, so your only option is really to kill these guys. He does spam the cold wave a lot, so if you have higher cold res and FHR, it will kind of do that less to you. But the other thing is, you could be stuck in an animation and kind of ignore the knockback, but then you're kind of risking getting hit by some cold spires, so it kind of depends what you want to do. You see here, I'm kind of ignoring it there because I'm actually against the pillar, which I can't be knocked back as well. So that's like another thing you can do, but you can also just get smacked by the pillar if you do that. So not really ideal to do that either. So yeah, again, nothing too interesting here. That was his last phase. So I'm just going to make sure my frenzy's up, and then just finish off Rathma, Mendel with some. And I'm going to try to hit my frenzy stack here quickly, so when I go into the portal, I keep it. And that's what would happen at the beginning of the fight too, if you did that in like Bloody Foothills or anywhere you like, I guess. River, I don't know, wherever you kind of would like. So you don't need much rejuice for that phase at all. And to be honest, there's not any experience in this part of the map, so it doesn't really make sense to clear this. I just grab the rejuves I need and then kind of just blast through it because it's just kind of pointless. There's no experience. There's no drops really. I mean, I've gotten random like puzzle boxes and stuff off of these guys, but they don't drop like runes or anything like that. But you can get like a puzzle box, jawbone. I mean, a mirror or something, but I doubt that's gonna happen. But that's all kind of in the realm of possibilities here. But T3 maps I think I've gotten from here, but all of that's kind of pointless to do. You don't want to do any of that, so just get your rejuice and skip. What I'm doing here is try to kill just enough, but then also hit my frenzy to get it back up to 34 seconds, and then I'm going to go in. This phase is the easiest phase right now. I'm just going to get my Grimward up, and you'll just see how fast he starts dying once you actually start hitting him. And if he spawns something like the Conjuring Soul, like that, it's even better because everything bounces off of it. You almost don't have to aim. You see that all of the Void Knights died basically immediately. You really don't have to aim at all. You just gotta throw it at anyone, and it's just gonna bounce and kill them all. The lucky thing is you can actually cast your Grimoire now on the Void Knights corpses. If you don't have natures and stuff, so it's definitely a big benefit. To get the corpses originally, I have a Venom on swap. That's kind of the old trick of just having Desecrate, right? So you gotta drop one of your BO sticks for a Venom, so you have Desecrate charges. So that's what's going on there. Again, you see, you don't even have to aim. I just threw those at Rathma, and they just bounced off and killed the knights. So that looks kind of ridiculous. But to be honest, Throw was the best at those guys anyway. They died really quickly in normal seasons, but it's just also quickly here. So I don't even think I went into my inventory that phase. Yeah, I didn't. So that was just a couple pots there. And then, now this one, it does make sense if you do want a full clear. Like if you kill these guys, you do get a good amount of experience. Like it's really good actually. It's better than a map. Like this zone is better than a full map. But I don't like wasting my time. Like I don't know. I don't care for the experience, and I don't really. I just value doing more runs, I guess, than sticking around doing a full clear here. So there's just 3 spots where the portals can be. There, then at like 12 o'clock, or sorry, 12 o'clock, and then at like 9 o'clock. You see here I'm being really stupid. I wasn't paying attention, and I dropped my Frenzy. That's the first time that's ever happened to me that I lost Frenzy in this fight. Usually I can go all 3 rounds. It's not a big deal. You get it back up again, but there's no reason you have a million minions here, so the fact that I dropped it was, I don't know, I was looking at my other screen, but there's not much really excuses, just don't do that. Okay, so phase 3 is actually where you have to pay attention. This is probably the only part of the video most of you guys are watching, but basically I'm going to come in, I'm going to cast my Grimoire here, and we're going to focus down men down. I'm going to try not to damage. We see I did so much damage that the Void Knights spawned, so I'm going to try to clear out the Void Knights as well in a second, once he kind of did half his phase like that. And then he cast his Pinova and he went right back into another phase. So at this point, I can damage him already, but I'm not going to. I'm going to Frenzy down this Conjuring Soul to not triple phase him. And that way I get my rejuves back up. He went into a 3rd phase again, because I guess I did so much damage the first time. So that's okay. We're just going to kind of wait and let this happen. Let him finish. Perfect. So now he's done 3 out of 4 phases, and we've just used about a belt of rejuves. So at this point, what we can do is try to group them together, which they didn't, but luckily Rathma spawned the Void Knights. So what we're going to do is cast some Grimoires, clear out the Void Knights, and then we can just go back to Mendown and finish the fight. Because at this point, Rathma has 1 more phase left, but Mendown only has this one here. And he'll stop being immune in a second. At that point, we can just fully DPS him down because he has nothing left. There you go. And that brought out the last Rathma phase, killed off the Void Knights, and we are basically done the fight. We'll cast a Grimoire and just kind of finish it off there. I used a bit more rejuves this one than I did my previous one, but you see the strategy really is to kind of try to stop DPSing because there's just too much damage. You just do too much damage in this fight. You see we have basically an inventory of rejuves still left, and I'll kind of go through my stats here really quickly. So you see here 75 IAS is kind of what I have for that breakpoint of 8. I'm going to be doing a trade just because I was kind of in the middle of something else as well. I have just a decent 620 glaive as my main. There's my Purgatory from my Bleed Whirlwind Barb. Athalic Burdens, just a random Sork enemy. That's my fast axe. Trex, really bad ring. Really nice belts. Belts, Raven, Soul Drainers. Random CTA, and there's the Venom for Desecrate. My charms are not ideal. They are left over from whatever I had, plus my Whirlwind Masteries. You probably want AR maxes everywhere, But again, you don't really need the damage. My Grimward fell off. That 11k should be 13k and 12k DPS, or 14k and 12k. And I'm just kind of going through my skills here. I'll link my armory and such. As you see, Grimward's off, but yeah, that's it. Cheers.